here we are this evening, and we need to address certain things because we are alive. Now, I understand that people have their interests, and as people have their distinctly different interests, they like to hear somebody talk about their interests. I mean, I could talk to you about the electrical system of an airplane, but only those people who have any interest in electrical systems would be interested in hearing what I have to say. There are people who like to paint, artists. Maybe they have gone to lectures about art, painting, this and that, and maybe they would like to hear something said about that. There's photographers, and people go on cruises. I see that in Digital Photography magazine. People go on cruises, people go to, because they share a common interest. So what do I have to say to you? It's not about digital photography. It's not about art. And what would it be, possibly be, that I would say something to you that you all would have a common interest in it? You come from different backgrounds. Some of you are lawyers, some of you are doctors, some of you are, whatever your profession is, painters, fix houses, sell oils, sell perfume, sell clothes. I don't know, just the list would be too long. So I go around the world and I talk to people, and I don't talk about aircraft electrical systems, and I don't talk about photography, but I know what I have come to talk to you about. We all share a common interest in it. We do. And the common interest that we share is we have one thing, and it is called life. So, you could only be excused for not having a common interest if you were dead. If you find yourself alive, you should pay attention. Because this is interesting. This is interesting. Two things that I will mention. We all need. And the two things are, one, we need sustenance. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. We need sustenance. And the other thing that we need is shelter. Now let me explain to you these two things and why I'm talking about this. We need sustenance, and there is nothing we can do about it. That's just how we are made. Now, you may not like the idea. You might find it troublesome. But that's usually not the case. You need sustenance. Now, you may be sitting there and saying, well, Maraji, I don't really consider a gourmet sandwich sustenance. Listen, I'm not talking about the gourmet sandwich. That's your creation. Your body doesn't care if you're eating a $2,000 sandwich or it came from a garbage can. It's going to convert it into glucose. That's all it cares about. Can it be converted into glucose? Sugar. That's what your body runs on. You need sustenance. You need air to breathe. If you ran out of air, you'd be gone. You need water. You need food to sustain this body. And what you try to do in your life is not make that process so basic, but make it as enjoyable as possible. That's what you have done. That's all we have all done. That's why there are so many restaurants out there. That's what they try to do. Whether they succeed in it or not is an entirely different matter, and I'm not here to be a critic, a food critic. But we need sustenance. When you get into a survival situation, you don't care about the gourmet sandwich. You need food. Anything edible will do. We call these environments survival situations because everything has been stripped down and it is basics. And we call it survival. Well, actually, what happens in survival is what's always happening. So far the body is concerned, it needs food. How you get it, that's your problem. You figure it out. But if you want to stay alive, you're going to need to get it one way or the other. So we need sustenance. But we have taken that one element of sustaining ourselves to an art. We've made it enjoyable. We haven't left it to those basics. We have supermarkets full of junk. You know, I was in Europe for quite a while. Then I came back, turned on the TV, and it was remarkable because on one ad, they were selling you food. Then the program went on, and then the second set of ads came on, and they were selling you exercise equipment. And it's like, this has got to be in cahoots. These people are in cahoots with these people. We'll fatten them, and you sell them the exercise machine. Here, let's make their mouths salivate, and thus make them feel guilty. But not right away. Let there be a little bit of distraction in between the show that you are watching. So, remember that. Sustenance. The second thing you need is shelter. You need it. Elephants don't need it. But they're designed that way. Because they're big, hard to find shelter. So they basically carry their shelter with them. Their skin is so thick, that's their shelter. Rain, no problem. If they get hot, flies start attacking them, they take a little bit of dry soil and just throw it on themselves, or find some water and wash themselves off. But you need shelter. You don't have fur to keep you warm. You don't. And your skin is so delicate, too much sun, you've had it. Too cold, you've had it. There's only a few days out of a year where everything is actually okay and you could survive outside. You need shelter. The shelter has to protect you from the elements that are harmful to you. Otherwise, it's no good. Too much wind, you're no good with it. That's how you're made. I'm not passing judgment. I'm not saying you're so vulnerable. You should be like a pachyderm. No, I'm not saying that. This is just how you need sustenance and you need shelter. But you haven't just taken that need for shelter. You have evolved that need for shelter into something that is quite remarkable. Remarkable. Your apartments, your houses, your car, air conditioned, radio. They even have a new navigation unit where if you look at it from one side, the driver will see navigation while the passenger can actually watch TV, watch a DVD or watch a video. And the same technology is being brought to home so the husband can watch his football while the wife can watch whatever show she's watching. But we haven't just taken these things that we need. We have evolved them and evolved them and evolved them and evolved them and evolved them to unbelievable heights. You want to go up? You push a button, a box comes, you get in the box, you push a button, and it takes you to, you don't have to go up the stairs. The box will do going up the stairs for you. You need shelter. Not just shelter, you have evolved that shelter. Now, why am I talking about this stuff? Let me come to that now. Just as you need sustenance for this body, you need sustenance for your inner self. You do. And just as you need shelter for this body, you need shelter for your inner self. On the outside, you need shelter from the harshness of elements. On the inside, you need a shelter from the harshness of confusion. Just as you need protection from the cockroaches, right? Nobody likes cockroaches. Too many cockroaches and you call the Terminator, right? And he comes and he takes and he blankets your whole house and he goes inside and he bombards and there go the cockroaches. What's happening on the inside? Do you stop the cockroaches from coming? What are the cockroaches? Your unconsciousness. On the inside, anything can come in because you haven't built a sound shelter. So things come in. Do you get bothered? Of course you get bothered. And what does that bothering do? If it was your house, you would be restless. Mosquitoes everywhere all night long, right? You would be restless. And when that restlessness happens on the inside, because your shelter is no good, you lack peace in your life. So you see my analogy of sustenance and shelter. As much as we need it on the outside, we need sustenance and shelter on the inside. Now, outside, I'm not an expert. Inside, I am. And because you are alive, you need that sustenance, and because you are alive, you need that shelter, and I can advise you on that, and that's why I am here. Now, what I'm going to say to you, you may not like it because it's going to be down to earth. It's going to be down to earth. And for the things that happen in your life, I'm going to point to you and say you're responsible for it. And you say, well, the mosquitoes bother me. You say, well, why don't you put some mosquito screens up on your windows? And when you're going to say, well, the cockroaches bother me, I'm going to say, don't leave the food lying around all over the place. That's the symbiotic relationship that the cockroaches built with human beings a long time ago. But the human beings were such sloppy eaters that the cockroaches went, wow, this is like walking buffet. This thing is perfect. It leaves food everywhere when it eats, and then disappears at night, leaving this feast on the floor. We don't have to go up or anything. On the floor. And there they go. Every night, they come out. And they have evolved. They can hear you, feel you coming. And they disappear. And you think, wow, I have a nice clean house. Once in a while, one gets too far. And he can't make it back, and there he is lying there, with his legs up, dying or something. Then you go, uh-oh, I've got cockroach. When you have one cockroach, you have thousands of cockroaches. So you take that cockroach and you kill it, or you pick it up and throw it outside, or it's going to come right back in. Why? His relatives are there. His whole family, his uncle, his aunt. Now, why am I talking about cockroaches? Because all those things that bother you, you let them come in. You let all those things that bother you in your life, you let them come in. You have no door to close. You never installed one, not on the building on the inside. It doesn't have a roof. It doesn't have any walls. And it doesn't have any windows. You may have a key to it. What good is that going to do? Down to earth. What is the point of having a key, buying a lock, and making a pretense that you are sound inside? There's nothing there. And you're vulnerable. And what happens? All these things, all these vermins, creatures, ugly, yes, come and they attack you, and they bother you. And they bother you at night, and they bother you during the day, and you suffer, and you wish, and you hope, and you pray that they go away. Now, talking to a mosquito and saying, go away. I don't want you. You don't want to drink my blood. It's not going to help. Mosquito doesn't understand your language. Doesn't. The male ones that are buzzing around, they want to just mate with you. I mean, you have to understand. Have you ever seen a mosquito? How big do you think this thing's brain's got to be? Females are the ones that bite you because they got to lay eggs and they need sustenance. They get their sustenance. Do you get yours? Do you? Even a weaver bird makes its nest so that it can protect its young from elements. Have you built your nest? I'm talking about on the inside, not on the outside. Do you have a door? Do you have a window? Do you have a screen that will block those pesky things in your lives that come and trouble you and steal your peace from you? Most people go, but I thought it was karma. You think a mosquito believes in karma? No. You think a zebra believes in karma? No. You think an elephant believes in karma? No. But people, see, this is what I said, it's going to bother you. It's going to bother some people because I talk about down-to-earth stuff. What were you in your last lifetime? Do you care? Maybe that will explain why the vermins are coming to bother you. Is that the explanation you want in your life? Well, I've got bad news for you then. Because I'm going to tell it to you anyways, whether you like it or not. And you may not do anything about it, but my advice to you would be, get a mosquito screen. Stop fiddling with karma stuff. Oh, but what about spirituality? You want to know about the biggest spirituality you've got going on? This breath comes into you, and this breath goes out, and you are alive. And what do you think of that? That is the most practical, most divine, most fundamental miracle that takes place every time this breath comes into you. What do you think about that? But which book says so? Listen, reading a book is up to you. Somebody has written, then somebody has written. It is their opinion. You don't have to swallow the opinion. You can enjoy the book without swallowing the opinion. A bookworm does. You may have a hard time remembering the words. This thing eats them. But does it become intelligent? No. Somebody says to you, not too long ago, somebody said that, God's eye view. They were talking about bird's eye view. God's eye view. So now, God has got eyes, just like you. Listen, I'm not here to change this. I'm just trying to point out something, and it's down to earth. It's like God, He. Why? Why? There is an energy, there is a power, there is a God. I'm not an atheist. But my God lives in the cathedral of my heart, as does yours. You don't have to change your opinion that it's a he or a she. If you're a she, probably most likely he's a she, and if you're a he, he's not a she, he's a he. How convenient. Not too long ago in Europe, somebody sent me a picture of two nuns. And they're quite old. And just recently, they received the gift of knowledge. And one of them made a comment after they received this knowledge. This is what I was looking for all my life. Now, they're still nuns. They still have their beliefs. They still have their religion. I'm not here to change anybody's religion. And quite the contrary. I actually tell people, hey, you want to follow your religion? Then follow it earnestly. Follow it. Follow it. But that doesn't mean you don't need a wall and a roof and a screen to protect you from the vermins that come and steal your peace. You still need that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. People are going to go crazy over this religion stuff. More people have been killed in the name of God. You think it's going to stop anytime soon? Of course not. Of course not. And will there be more variations of religion? Of course there's going to be. Since it started, people keep varying. Because they don't find that little niche that they're looking for, so somebody goes a little different. We believe in heaven, but not in hell. We only believe in hell and not in heaven. And we believe it's a he, and no. She's she, and it's a he and a she, and can be anything. This. The people will come up with these variations, and will continue to happen. Why? Because they don't know. And I implore you to know in your life, not believe. This is one life you have. You need to know. You need to know. You need to know that beauty that resides in your heart. You need to know. You need to feel the heaven here on earth. Not believe, know. That's my conviction. I sit in this chair today because I do know. A lot of people are sitting there and they're going, well, how? That's not my problem. Because I do know. You see, I have come out of the cave, I'm wiping my mouth, because I've just had a drink of water. And everybody's going, where is that water? I know where that water is. It's in you. Always has been, always will be in you. How is it possible? Of course it is possible. It is only after you feel that peace that you realize why you are alive. It feels the whole equation makes sense. What is true success? What is true failure? What is real? What is not real? You need to know that. You need to know that. You know, there are people who fly in airplanes. They don't know much about an airplane at all, but they fly in them. And every time there's a bump, they get scared. Now, do they enjoy their flights? No. In fact, if you watch some of these shows they have about airports and airlines and stuff like that, a lot of these people can't board because they're too drunk. They're so afraid of flying that they're drunk. One person, they were so afraid of flying, they took a bunch of sleeping pills and fell asleep before the flight. So now they can't board. It's okay. It's okay. And the captain is sitting in the front and he's having a conversation. About what? I don't know. But he's having a conversation. Does he feel the bump? Yes. Is he scared? No. Because he knows it's just a bump. No thunderstorms, nothing, no clear turbulence is being reported, not forecasted, no jet streams, nothing. The wind is blowing at 30 knots, and that's it. Just a bump. But for somebody who doesn't know, that is their reaction. Many times I have come back, people got their seatbelts on, and the plane has been doing its thing, and it's like, listen guys, it's just 2 knots of wind, but it can't decide which way to blow, so it's just creating this turbulence. Don't worry about it. You see the color come back. This is what happens when you don't know. Everything is speculation. I wonder. Is this life about I wonder or I know? What do you want? What do you want? If you want to wonder, I can't help you. If you want to know, I can. Wonder away. Maybe wonder is wonderful. But for how long? How long do you speculate? How long do you wonder? How long do you worry? My God. I see that. I see that. People wanting blessings. They go to temples, they go to holy places. I want to see a miracle. I say to people, if a miracle happened right under your nose, you wouldn't know it. And I'm not being facetious. I mean it. Because it is. Of course it is. This breath is coming right under our nose. Do you know where it came from? Do you have any idea where it came from? Do you know where it went? And then it'll come again. And what does it do? Every time this wave happens, you're alive. You're alive. You're alive. You're alive. You're alive. You have probably heard me say this 1,000,000 times. You are alive. I really feel I need to remind you, you are alive. Hello. Hello out there. You are alive. You really are. And this should mean something to you. Because technically, you came from this dirt. And one thing you don't have to wonder about, to this dirt you will go. And all that you are, and all that you think, and all that you know, and all that you like, and all that you dislike, and all the things that happen inside your little head are only happening because you are alive. Yes, that stroke on a piece of paper that you call the beautiful painting, all because you're alive. All because you're alive. And in this incredible festival of life, there's some beautiful things happening. I know there are bad things that happen. I know. I'm not saying they don't. They do. Vermins do come in, and sometimes those vermins are not little cockroaches. I mean, cockroaches are disgusting, but they're not going to bite you. But sometimes it's a snake, a cobra, and it will bite you. Maybe it's a bee that will bite you because there's nothing there to stop it. There's no walls, no ceiling, no windows, no nothing. But there's something else happening that is so exquisite. There is a heart in you that wants to rejoice, wants to express a gratitude for being alive. It yearns to express that gratitude. You know it yearns to express the gratitude, except how can you have gratitude without gratification? You have to have gratification. What is gratification? Fulfillment. You may have heard 100 times, you should be fulfilled, you should be fulfilled, you should be fulfilled, but I have a way that you can be fulfilled. The tool is what I call knowledge. It's as simple as that. Use it, it works. Don't use it, it doesn't work. Wonder about it and not use it, it doesn't work. Use it, it will work. And the good news in this festival of existence is this: that what you are looking for and what you have been searching for is already inside of you. Sustenance. What do you need? You need clarity. That's what you need in your life. Not doubt, but clarity. To know. To know. Not believe that today was a gift. Did you really spend today like a gift? How do I know? I haven't been watching you. How do I know? I know. That's what happens. Unconsciousness slaps you silly. And then, you ask them, do you feel gratitude today? Oh, yeah, I'm very thankful. My God. You really, truly were thankful for today, for every moment in your life, because that's what you got to persevere to. Each one of these moments is a gift. More than any pearl or any diamond you can possibly imagine. The riches that you seek on the inside, you get to keep. Government won't tax you for it. A clever plan. Can't share it with anyone. And someone said, a thief will not steal it. Think about that. So personal it is to you. So embedded within you is this thing that a thief cannot steal it. It is truly yours and will remain so. Now, the question is, sounds good. A lot of people will go, too good to be true. But this breath is too good to be true. Is it not? But it comes again and again and again. Too good to be true. Too good to be true. And people say, if it is free, it is not worth it. Right? So then this breath is free. Is it not worth it? You tell me. This breath is nothing? Nothing? A lot of hospitals, they've got all these high-fangled gadgets. Heart rate, brain monitor, this. But still, in some hospitals, when you are gone, they look at all that and go, yeah, he's pretty much dead. One last test. In some old places, they used to hold a mirror up and see if it would fog. Because if it was fogging, all that was wrong. this could never be wrong. But if this wasn't happening, and all that was even hooked up to the guy next to you, you were gone. This. Don't you know? When the baby comes out, what the parents and everybody in the room is waiting for? Do you know what? What are they waiting for? That breath. As soon as that breath is taken, it triggers a signal. And the blood going through the umbilical cord now starts to terminate. The body goes from blue to pink. The coming of this breath is your beginning. Because if you never made it that far, that's it. Called what? Stillborn. That's what happens. You go through your life. You'll go through being a child, being an adolescent, being an adult. You will think of all these things. You will know all these things. You will study all these things. You will do all these things. And then you will get to that one point in your life. Everything slows down. You have to slow down. You have to slow down. Even in, there's people on TV, I drink this juice and I run 60 miles. Fine, great, good. How many cars do you have at home? You don't need a car, right? You can just walk. But all becomes slower and slower and slower and slower. The ability of this body to see will be lost. No fault of yours. Hearing will be lost. Taste will be lost. But one thing that you will never lose in your life, never changes during your whole life, is your ability to enjoy. Now, any clues? Any clues? Is that a clue to you? Is that a clue to you of why you are here? To enjoy. To enjoy what? To enjoy the most enjoyable. And what is the most enjoyable? The one that resides inside of you. That's the most enjoyable. The coming and going of this breath is the most enjoyable. The consciousness is the most enjoyable. Being alive is the most enjoyable. They're the same things. They're the same things. And when you understand that, that's all it takes. Is recognition. That's what it takes. You've got to have an eye. You've got to have an eye. I was watching TV, and I saw this guy, and so I had to watch him. He was a tea expert. See, I had to watch him. I like tea. He was tasting tea. I had to watch him. And he had like 30 cups in front of him. He'd pick up a spoon, put it in his mouth, go, spit it out, and give it a rating. Wow. Is he really any different than you and I? No. But he knows how to recognize. He's honed it in. Pay attention. He knows how to pay attention to his taste buds. And he can, through that, tell when the tea is right. That's all it takes. A little perseverance, a little dedication, a little understanding. A little want is basically what it takes. You have to have the eye to recognize what this life is all about. When you look at the sun, when you look at the moon, understand that they are there, but the enjoyment is within you. My father used to say, it's like a dog that chews bone. And when the dog chews the bone, it's its own gums that bleed. And the dog thinks that nice, tasty blood is coming from the bone. I like that example. I think it's really cute. Because it's the same thing that happens. Oh, look at how beautiful the moon is tonight. No, the beauty is in you. Moon is just a catalyst. Moon isn't any more or less beautiful. It's the same. Unless it's been bombarded recently by some more meteors, it's pretty much the same. Not much there isn't like bulldozers going around and changing the landscape. There isn't your interior designers all flying up in the space shuttle redecorating the moon. It isn't. It's been like that for a really long time. And you can tell. So if you think it's beautiful, and to tell you, this is true. It's pretty dull. It doesn't even glow on its own. It's the sun that makes it glow. So if you really think moon is beautiful, you're wrong. It's lunacy to think the moon is beautiful. The beauty is inside of you. Beauty is inside of you. Beauty is inside of you. These things in the world are just catalysts. But do you recognize that? Or do you become enamored by what you see? You do. I do. I'm not here to say, well, I'm the Holy One. I'm not. I don't have to be. I just know where the water is. That's all. It's like two friends who got themselves in a situation and they were both running away and there was a bear chasing them. So the one, in front started to take off his shoes and, to run faster. The guy behind him said, well, why are you doing that? The bear is going to eat us. He goes, don't you have to run really fast? He goes, no, all I have to do is outrun you. I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have to outrun you. And it's the same thing. I just know where the water is, that's all. I don't have to know the 10 million scriptures. I don't have to know any of that stuff. All I have to know is where the water is. And if you happen to be thirsty, I can help you. If not, that's that. Are you thirsty? Are you thirsty? Or let me ask you this. What have you done to disguise your thirst? Because we all do it. Don't we? When we have a sore leg, for whatever reason, and we are walking in public, we try to walk like we don't. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? People who have full head of hair, they shave it off. People who fell off, they put a wig on. Do you know there used to be a book, and it had all these cutouts in it. Long time ago I saw this. It was really cool. It had Concord tickets. You could just put it on your coffee table for Concord, It had all the Rolex watch, you could just look at it and you'd look like, man, you're wealthy. But it was all cutouts. So what have you done to disguise your thirst? Well, you have taken a lot of believing to disguise your thirst. That's how you have used believing. So that you don't, I believe that's going to happen later. No, now. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about today. I'm talking about tomorrow. The day after that, because today, you've heard this before, today is the first day of the rest of your life. And if that's true, then today, in this hour, is the first hour of the rest of my life. And if that's true, then this is the first minute of the rest of my life. And indeed, the second for the rest of my life. Will I be gone? Yes. Will you be gone? Of course. Will somebody else come and talk about this? Of course. Will somebody else listen to him or her? Yes, of course. And will they shake their head in disbelief? Of course. This has happened before. I'm not talking about some karmic thing. This is just natural to us. The most incredible thing happens and we don't call it a miracle. We don't call it a miracle. And milk starts to flow from a stone and we call it a miracle. That is not a miracle. That is a fluke. Cows are supposed to give milk. Nipples are supposed to produce milk, not stone. If that's what's happening, call the exorcist. Something is wrong. No, but what do? We stand in line. Somebody sent me a message, oh yeah, people stand in line to go into this restaurant. I said, oh, that's all they have to hear. Then they all stand in line. Just because they hear, oh, there's a line, and I have to get in the line. It must be good because everybody is in the line. This is belief, not knowing. That's why they're standing in line. And what does a person do if they want to taste really good food? Shouldn't they have to stand in line? No. Learn how to cook. Learn how to. I can make dishes that are so good. Unbelievable. If I may say so myself. Because I don't use anything that is not needed. It is not full of herbs. It is not full of spices. Salt and pepper, and you taste everything that's in the dish. Simplest, tastiest, unbelievable. Italians were using garam masala. It is in their text. They were using garam masala on their pasta. They call it garam masala. Hing is another spice, sap of a tree, that they were using in their spices. But learn to cook, not stand in line. That's what I'm here to tell you. But to build a house, build a shelter, a good shelter that can keep the vermins out and give you relief from the elements you are not meant for. And the sustenance. Let me show you how you can sustain this being, that it can be happy about, content about. That's it. That's it. That's all I have to say. In your life, find the peace. Be in that peace. Find that happiness. Find that joy. If you find yourself in pain and not in joy, stop and go, uh-oh, something is not quite right. Sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes all it takes is to roll down your window and go, do you know where the hall is? It is all the speculation behind the closed window. I know where it is. I'm going there. I know. Ego comes in. I am a self-made man. I don't want anybody to help me. Gee, I'm glad your mother didn't think that. Here is my self-made son. Yeah, I know. I have a grandson now, 7 months old. He's very cute. He's getting cuter every day. He's almost got his 2 bottom teeth out. He clangs them on the glass. You can hear him. Is he dependent on his mommy? What do you think? Absolutely. Absolutely. He comes in my office, and if I'm holding him, he wants me to show him the whole office. And he's like, self-made man. No, I understand. You don't want other people's help. You don't want to be indebted to another person, because that might spoil your ego. But the reality is you already are indebted, not to me, but to someone who has allowed all this to happen. And if you're not, you better start now. And the only way you truly will be able, because that's all it is, that's all gratitude is, feeling indebted and feeling good about feeling indebted. That's gratitude, because you are fulfilled. That is gratification, and when there is gratification, there is gratitude. So, make sure you have sustenance. Make sure you have a good shelter. If I can help, fine. If I not, anybody can. That's what you need. Okay, there's no question about that. That's what you need. Find it. Search. Search for what's already inside of you. Look, in my life, I was a little kid. People used to come to me and go, oh, we're searching for this. Why? All these people would come to me and they thought they were big spiritualists, big searchers. They were proud of searching what they hadn't lost. And here I was about to give them a message, what you're looking for is inside of you. But they liked searching. People like searching. I'm searching. I'm searching for what I haven't lost. Yeah? And then you see a cartoon, and it's so cute, like Kung Fu Panda, right? I don't know if you watch that cartoon. I like that cartoon. The dragon scroll. They finally get the dragon scroll. He looks at it, and it's like a mirror, and he sees himself. He goes, there's nothing here. Well, of course there's nothing here, except his face. But he doesn't see that as something. He sees that as nothing. And then he understands what that dragon scroll is telling him. It's all about him. I have a shirt, and there's a picture of me wearing that shirt, and somehow my sister had it. And she's passed on, but her children, they gave it to me, and it's still, the way she had preserved it or whatever, it's just completely intact. And you look at it, it was pretty tiny. And I was talking about this then. I'm talking about it now. Been talking about it and talking about it, and not just talking about it, bringing people to that joy. Those journeys, there's many, 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 many more of those journeys. What part did I play in it? A little one. I put them in touch with something that was inside of them. Maybe in their lives, out of a lot of nonsense, I was able to tell them one thing that did make sense. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It doesn't have to be 10 billion candle lights worth of light. A lamp will do. A humble little lamp will do at night. If you have this gift of knowledge, please enjoy it. Enjoy it. Practice it. Enjoy it. If you're aspiring to get it, I hope you get it soon. If you have come for the first time to hear what I have to say, well, you've just heard me repeat myself, probably, I don't know how many times I've repeated myself. But this is what I say. It's down to earth, it's simple, it's not airy-fairy, it's not, and then you push that button and then that will happen, and something will travel up your spine, go down your spine. I don't want anything going up my spine, believe me. This opens, there's diagrams of lotus, and I'm an Indian. That's where I was born. I've never seen it, not on me. I've looked at my belly button in the mirror. I've seen my belly button, and nothing was moving. And I felt peaceful. So there are things happen, and then you've got this up in the head, and that blows up, and then there are people going, well, you are God, because God is in you, you are God. Listen. You have tea in a kettle. The kettle doesn't become tea. Kettle stays kettle, tea stays tea. If you take that kettle and start pouring out the tea, and the kettle starts melting away and becoming tea, you're probably on a very bad acid trip. Kettle should stay kettle, and tea should stay tea, and that's the way I like it. Don't want it any other way. No trips for me, please. Thank you. This is one life I have. I want to enjoy this life. I want to feel that peace in my life, and I want to know about it. That's it. That's all there is. That's all there is. So thank you very much for coming, for listening. Enjoy your life. Enjoy this existence. It is very, very possible to do so. Thank you, and good night. Thank you.